Salvete amici, here is a recap of what we did today in class, February 10th. The first thing is I reminded you to keep bugging any middle schoolers you know, especially 8th graders. Send them, here's a link to the posters that we made, and tell them how awesome Latin is. Amabo te. I will love you if you do that. Okay, next, in your flipped homework notebooks, I asked you to write an English translation of 11.4. In addition to writing out an English translation, I asked you to underline any of the weird uses of the dative. That is to say, any datives which we're not going to translate into English as to or for. I'm sure you remember the normal translation of the dative case is to or for. For instance, Quintus is giving flowers to the girls, puellis, to the girls. But sometimes we see verbs like occorre, he runs into, he meets a dative case. So any of those datives that are not translated as to or for, underline in your English translation. And here are the answers. So this should be in your notebook. You should have an English translation, and you should have underlined words that you translated the dative where you didn't say to. He resists. The Trojans resists the Greeks. From what you learned so far, you might have expected that Greci to be Grekos, because he kicks the Greeks, he loves the Greeks, but he resists the Greeks. Maybe literally we'll translate he resists to the Greeks, but that will sound horrible in English. So do that for all those examples. You can pause the video, make sure you have your translation is correct in your notebook, cross out errors, don't erase. But you'll notice I underline that because we translate as he orders them, not he orders to them. It is my intention, not it is an intention to me. He orders them again. Runs into his brother. Okay, so that's that. Again, pause, make sure everything is correct, and email me if you have any questions. And last but not least, we corrected your homework. Your homework from last class was to write an English translation of Aeneas Tales of the Fall of Troy. So we did that, and we also practiced reading it aloud. We paid careful attention to reading aloud. So anyway, here is the English translation of what we went over today. So you can pause the video and make sure your translation matches. Remember, word order doesn't matter so much, so if you put the words in a slightly different order but have the meaning correct, that's fine. So pause, make correct, please cross out, do not erase. And while we went over this translation, this is as far as we got. So I stopped at Troy's collapsing here in my English because that's where we stopped in class. But while we were doing this, we also paid close attention to reading it aloud because we are going to have a expressive reading quiz soon. So your homework then is to keep practicing reading it aloud. There is a YouTube video. Here's the link. There is a YouTube video which you can hear me reading it aloud and practice with that if you'd like. You don't have to. So that's really the main homework. The other homework is please, because again we have quizzes coming up, please give Memrise a whirl. I think you'll like it. Just go to the Memrise website. You can sign up with your school Gmail account and go to Languages, Latin, and you'll find this Oxford Latin Course Part 1. Go to level 11, chapter 11, and give it a try. I'm sure you'll like it. Okay, I think that's it.